Good day to all of you guys. So this is Jester again and you're watching the MTG Jester YouTube channel. Today, we are at the last part of our 3-part Commander 2017 unboxing video. And finally, we will put ourselves at the shoes of Khaleesi. Because we will call our Marties friends from the sky, below the deep waters, and from wherever they may come. Because today we will open the 5-color dragon deck, no? So this 5-color dragon deck is commanded or helmed by the Ur Dragon. So this is the first art of Ur Dragon, no? So we can start today, no? By the way, I remember who gave me the or who sold me the SDCC or San Diego Comic Con that we opened from our past video. No, I wasn't able to give him credit or wasn't able to thank him for selling it to us, but now I will thank him formally. So Mr. Luigi Opao, thank you for that awesome box and the also addition to my Planeswalker foil collection, no? Thankfully we remember him, no, when I was picking to my phone, no? But unfortunately I still don't remember who sold me our 2017 Commander decks, but maybe in the future, if I will be able to track down who is that one, we will give him credit for this one, no? Even in the next video or in the videos to come. So enough of that, we will start opening our Ur Dragon box. So still without the surprise factor of the deck, because this one also is being already spoiled, all of the contents of the card. So we will again pick into the carton and get one pack to reveal what's inside, no? So we'll start now. So here it says, rally your forces, crush your enemies, choose your commander and lead your tribe to triumph in this unique multiplayer Magic format. Discover the strength of kinship with decks that focus on tribal synergies and sense of unity. So just the same from first 2 box, what they say here, although this one here is not. So it says here, Draconic Domination. When time began, the Ur Dragon began with it, as the primordial ancestor and lifeblood of all dragons. So the Ur Dragon is the first one. So I think Ur means somewhat a precursor, something like this one. The Ur Dragon imbues strength into dragons from every corner of the multiverse, so that they may rain endless fire and destruction upon the enemies of dragonkind, no? So this showcase or this box showcase the 5 new cards, although it has 17 new magic cards, but here they showcase 5 new ones, no? So we have here Wasitora, Hikoro Queen, one of the legendary, here a Dragon Cat, a Taigam Ojutai Master. So this is the original Taigam before he became a Dimir aligned legendary. Then we have also Kindred Discovery, which is really good for tribal or non-tribal also, because we may be able to draw whenever something comes into play, especially the tribal ones, no, deck ones. So our 2 other legendary creature that comprises with 5 colors, also same with the Ur Dragon, is Okagachi, Vengeful Kami. I think this one from the Kamigawa plane, and Ramos, Dragon Engine. This Ramos, I always read this one from any card like Eye of Ramos or something, that one. So Ramos is one of those legendary from way back, no? Even before I started playing Magic. So says also here the contents, but we will not look deeper into that because we already know what is inside of this one. Okay, so we'll just start opening one. We already prepared our shield also, no, for our legend or foils, and those we want to keep at a good condition, no? Although we want all of these cards to be kept in good condition, but there are some who needs priority with it, no? So here we have our oversized foil card. So the Ur Dragon. So here the Ur Dragon is a 9 to cast 10/10 legendary creature dragon avatar. So 4 generic and 1 of each color of the mana available. So 5 more manas, no? So it has the eminence. So it is one of those 4 or lucky 4 that has the eminence ability. It says here, as long as the Ur Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells we cast cost 1 less to cast. So it's not that abusive of a ability, because it will just lessen 1 casting cost, no? Not like Enalia that would copy or make a token of someone or something, or make a token bumper of something, or like Arabo also has a good immense ability, but this one is not that better than those, no? It has also flying, and whenever 1 or more dragons we control attack, we draw that many cards. Then we may put a permanent card from our hand onto the battlefield. So this is the ability that is good with the Ur Dragon. So this is our commander of the deck, no? Or the one who helms the deck. So this we will not be reading the others anymore, no? So again, like the first 2 videos, we have the quick strategy guide. Then we have our own deck box, a smaller deck box, the usual deck box from the commander decks. Then we have the something insert, no? The story and the deck itself. So we will just read some excerpt here in the pamphlet. So here it says the Ur Dragon, the progenitor of fire, no? An immensely powerful entity from the dawn of time. The Ur Dragon is a prevailing force in the universe with wings that extends across this one here, as you can see, across the eternities. It steers the fabric of the cosmos. Its breath billows over mortal realms, stealing the essence of life. Its claws rake the aether, sundering ancient bonds. Its eyes perceive the deepest truths concealed in wells of time, and its bellowing roar summons its brood, echoing to the blood of all dragonkind. For the Ur Dragon is the progenitor from which the dragons of the multiverse spawned. There we go. That's a short excerpt of the Ur Dragon. Next we have here Nikoro. So the spirit of their ancestor, the Ur Dragon, courses through all dragonkind, granting them physical might, powerful magic, and fearless intelligence. The scion of the Ur Dragon feels this visceral bond more closely than most, believing himself to be the very blood of the almighty progenitor, but he is not alone in his power. So scion of the Ur Dragon also we will be seeing here in the deck, no? Next we have here on Dominaria, the primeval Crosses. So another one of those legendary dragons, commands the word of death to slay his enemies. Rorik's Blade Wing, so one of those Blade Wing cards, lives a second life as an undead predator. Intet, so Intet the Dreamer, I think this one, acts as a sage and the ancient Teneb, another one dragon or three-color dragon, also this one is a scheming hunter. The regal and clever Wasitora, so Wasitora, I think this one, reigns as the self-proclaimed queen of the Nikoro cat dragons of Madara. After reaching an agreement with the Madara's imperial champion Tetsuo Umezawa, she became the defender of the village of Sekana, a duty which she gladly accepted in exchange for payment in delicious fish. Next we have here, on the planet of Tarkir, 5 broods of dragons spawn from magical tempests. So one of them is Atarka, commands a brood of insatiable hunters. The next is Dromoka, or the Moka's armored brood sears everything in their path. Then next, Kolaghan's brood mercilessly unleashes torrents of sorcerous lightning, cunning and devious. Ojutai's brood glides silently to cold mountain peaks, freezing prey with their icy breath, and the ruthless Silumgar leaves the corpses of lesser beings in the wake of his toxic exhalations. Each of these dragon lords leads a clan of devoted humanoids, such as the Stained or Stayed, Reverend Monk Taigam of the Ojutai clan. Next, on Kamigawa, many dragons are revered as divine. Rusei is the fiery spirit who guards the great mountains. Okagachi, so the other dragons, we have a dragon with the snake hair something. An immense dragon with eyes that blaze like the stars, was the greatest of Kamigawa's guardian spirits, Kami. But when the veil between the spirit and material world was weakened, Okagachi's divinity was stolen by Lord Konda. Thus began the 20-year Kami War. And here we have the dragon Ramos is revered by Cho Arim, people of Mercadia, as divine. But in truth, it is an animated automaton that once served the warlord Mishra during the Brothers' War on Dominaria. Later, Urza reprogrammed the dragon engine as a protector. Preservation became Ramos' purpose, and the dragon escaped to Mercadia with refugees from the war. The ancient dragon Nibmizet, so Nibmizet will be seen again here, wields an intimidating and unparalleled intellect, which he used to secure his place as the Parun or founder of the Izet on Ravnica. His relationship with the people of his world is sophisticated and political. He commands great respect. And lastly, we have, regardless of how dragons rise, by way of their physical prowess, magical might, or exceptional mental capacity, they are destined to ascend to greatness across multiverse. So there we read some of the excerpt for the dragon deck. So now we will just set this all aside and we can start. So okay, here we have the Ur-Dragon again, but in its original card form, no? Where's the opening here? This one. So we'll see what this box have for us. So first we have here the commanders. First one is the Ur-Dragon. Then we will not read it anymore. So here we have the second foil 5-color dragon commander. So Okagachi, Vengeful Kami. It's a 6 to cast, 6/6 legendary creature dragon spirit. So one generic and the 5 colors of mana, no? It has also flying and trample. Then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player attack us during his or her last turn. Exile target non-land permanent that player costs. It's not that good of a dragon, but for commander, I think it's enough. At his behest, the Kami War began to regain that which was taken. There we go. I think this will be our first word also, no? Or. So we will just make this our first word. Or. So at least we will be able to know the proper meaning of that word. So, or that suffix, if I'm correct with my English. So we have the next one, card, artifact legendary creature. But in commander or EDH, it will be considered as 5 color because it has 5 identity here, no? So Ramos, Dragon Engine, is a 6 to cast 4/4 legendary artifact creature, dragon. So 6 generic mana. It has flying, and whenever we cast a spell, we put a +1/+1 counter on Ramos for each of that spell's color. So if we will cast a the Old Dragon, we will be able to put 5 +1/+1 counters on this one. Then we can remove 5 +1/+1 counters from Ramos and add 10 mana. So 2 sets of the 5 color mana symbols to our mana pool. So we can only activate this one only once each turn. There we go. I think they are putting this one, and I think I was also planning to put Ramos in my Joda Archmage Eternal deck, no? Because it will give me enough mana to cast the 5 color that Joda will they call this one like a filter for us for our spells, no? Especially those costly spells. Next we have our token. So we have here a colorless gold token that says sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to our mana pool. So we have here, I think 5 of those, no? So 5 of this one. Then at the back of the 2, we have a 6/6 red flying dragon token. Then 2 of those also at the back is a 4/4 dragon red flying token. Then the other one at the back is a cat dragon. So it's a gold color, no? 3/3 flying token. So it more looks like not a cat dragon but more looks like a bat. Next we have here a 5 cat dragon gold color 3/3 flying token. So more dragons here at the back. 4 of those, or rather 2 of those is again a 4/4 red dragon flying token. Then 3 remaining is a 6/6 red flying dragon token. So that is our, or that's our token cards of the box. Next we have here is Curse of Verbosity. So this will be our second word, no, because we didn't use the verbosity in our the first box. So Curse of Verbosity is a 3 to cast, enchantment, or a curse. So 2 generic and 1 in blue. So it only enchants player, and whenever enchanted players attack, draw a card. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Idle chatter beacons many and attemptive here. So our second word is verbosity. So there. So next we have here a mountain. So how many we have? As of now we have here 5. I think we still have additional some here, but now we have 5 with 3 different art. Then we have our first rare of the box, aside from our VTX legendaries. So here is a Fortunate Few, a white rare. So 5 to cast sorcery, 3 generic and double in white mana. Says here, choose a non-land permanent we don't control. Then each other player chooses a non-land permanent he or she doesn't control that hasn't been chosen this way. And we destroy all other non-land permanents. It says here, one of those says, one of this, there's a human, a goat, I think this is a troll, and a goblin. It says here, I don't know who of them. It says, except for the goat, I think. Unless the goat can speak, or a magical goat. It says here, no, is it over? That's our first rare. Then we get another rare, a white dragon, no? So a Scale Lord Reckoner. And this will be our third word also. So Reckon, or Reckon. So Scale Lord Reckoner is a 5 to cast 4/4 creature dragon, 3 generic and double in white to cast it. So it has flying, and whenever a dragon we control becomes a target of our spell or ability and opponent's control, we destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. So it says here, the justice of dragons demands more than just an eye for an eye. So we have our third word, Reckon. Next we have a blue rare. It's the one exposed or showcase in the box, no? So it's Kindred Discovery, a 5 to cast enchantment, so 3 generic and double in blue to play it. So as it enters the battlefield, we need to choose a creature type, and whenever a creature we control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, we draw a card. So this one is really good also for ninjutsu and the new rogue deck. So says also here, few things are truly lost at the sea. There's our blue rare. So we have here our first black rare. or mono black rare, it's another dragon, a Boneyard Scourge. And this will be also our fourth word, no? Our fourth word will be Scourge. So Boneyard Scourge is a 4 to cast for 3 creature zombie dragon. So 2 generic and double in black to play it. It has flying, and whenever a dragon we control dies while Boneyard Scourge is in our graveyard, we can pay 2. So 1 generic and 1 black mana. Then if we do, we return this creature from our graveyard to the battlefield. And it says here, death arrives on tattered wings and stolen bones. So this is our fourth word, Scourge. Next we have here a Territorial Hellkite. So Territorial Hellkite is a 4 to cast 6/5 creature dragon. So our first red rare, 2 generic and double in red. So it has flying and haste. And at the beginning of the combat of our turn, we choose an opponent at random. That Territorial Hellkite didn't attack during our last combat. Then Territorial Hellkite attacks that player this combat if able. If you can't choose an opponent this way, we need to tap Territorial Hellkite. Next we have a multicolored rare, a Fractured Identity. So a 5 to cast sorcery, 3 generic and Azorius set of color. So exile target non-land permanent. Then each player other than its controller creates a token that's a copy of it. Self-reflection is not without its spells. This one is also good to combo with Page the Untouchable, no? So we will just remove Page. We exile that one. Then a token comes into play to our opponents and we will automatically win the game, no? Fractured Identity. Next we have here our we'll just arrange this one forward. We have our first legendary aside from the 5 color commanders. So we have Taigam, the original Taigam, Taigam Ojutai Master. So Taigam Ojutai Master is a 4 to cast legendary creature human monk 3/4. So 2 generic and Azorius and set of color. So it says instant, sorcery, and dragon. Spells you control can't be countered by spells or abilities. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell from our hand, if Taigan Ojutai Master attack this turn, that spell gains rebound. So we already know about rebound. So this ability is a lot more like the boss ability of the Kaldheim, no? So it will take effect if the creature attack this turn. Next we have here the next new legendary, Wasitora, the Korok Queen. So I will just also reiterate that Ramos is already being reprinted, no? So he was reprinted in Commander Legends in the form of a H foil. So this is the first one of Ramos. So even in the Commander Legends, we will not be able to get this version, only the H1. And also the Ore Dragon is being reprinted already in a secret lair. So I already got my secret lair. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive yet because it is still at my good friend Mark Vincent Caceres. So shout out to him. He still has my Ore Dragon secret lair. So there's one of secret lair that contains only three legendary creatures. So Ore Dragon, the Reaper King, and the other one I think is the Sliver Queen. I'm not too sure of the Sliver, but I didn't get that secret lair. I just bought the one being posted in one of the FP page power group. So I bought the Reaper King and the Ore Dragon ones, no, except for that Sliver. I'm not really a fan of the Sliver, although they have a good synergy in the decks, but I'm not that fan of them, no. So this will also be a good addition. At least we have already two arts of the Ore Dragon, same as the Reaper King. So we will go back with Wasitora, Nikoro Queen, another legendary. So a 5 to cast, 5/4 legendary creature, cat dragon. So 2 generic and Jund in color combination. So it has flying and trample, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. And if that player can't, so we need to create a Jund color cat dragon creature token with flying. Says here, once a fierce foe, she would become one of Madara's greatest protectors. So we saw a while ago, this token of hers looks like more of a bat than a cat dragon. Next we have a mythic, one of the dragons from the Kamigawa Black. So it's Ryusei, the Falling Star. So Ryusei, the Falling Star is a 6 to cast 5/5 legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, 5 generic and a single red mana. It has flying, and whenever it dies, it will deal 5 damage to each creature without flying. So I think this is the first art of Ryusei, because he has already a new art from the modern set. I think something fun or master set. No. Next we have a mythic red creature. So Scourge of Balkas. Scourge of Balkas is a 5 to cast 4/4 creature dragon. So 2 generic and triple in red in color. It has the flying ability, and whenever it enters the battlefield or another dragon under our control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons in play. It has also the fire breathing ability, so we can pay 1 red to give it +1/+0 until the end of turn. Next we have one of the good dragons that is being used also in Kalia decks, special Kalia of the Vast. So Utvara Healthkite. So Utvara Healthkite is a 8 to cast 6/6 creature dragon. So 6 generic and double red in mana. Has flying, and whenever a dragon we control attacks, we create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Then says here, the fear of dragons is as old, as powerful as the fear of death itself. I think we already read this one, and we already got this card. I'm not too sure which set, maybe from the mystery booster. So you can comment down if still you remember the video that we read this one. Next we have another dragon, a white one, a Sunscourge Regent. So a 5 to cast 4/3 creature dragon, 3 generic and double in white. Has flying, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this card, and we gain 1 life. Then Urdnan, Tomoka Warrior, says here, we trust in the Scale Lords, bringers of justice that none can escape. Next we have a Monastery Siege, showcasing Ojutai here, I think, or one of his dragons. So a 3 to cast enchantment, 2 generic and 1 blue to cast it. Says here, when it enters the battlefield, also we choose Cans or Dragons. So if we will choose Cans, says here, at the beginning of our draw step, we draw an additional card, then we discard a card. So much more we loot. So they didn't yet give the proper name for this ability, but I think in the future they will just put this one as loot, because this one came from the Merfolk Looter ability. Then if we choose Dragons, says here, spells our opponent cast that target us or a permanent we control will cost 2 more to cast. It will be a stacks card. Next we have a good board wipe for the dragon kind, a Crux of Fate, showcasing Nicol Bolas and Ugin fighting in the scene. I think also in the side here that not being captured is Sharkan. So it's a 5 to cast sorcery, 3 generic and double in black to play. So we choose one of its modes. So it has 2 modes, destroy all dragon creatures, or we destroy all non-dragon creatures. So this is a double-edged sword. Either our opponent has this also board wipe, we can all destroy our dragons, or if we have this one, we will just destroy non-dragon permanents in play, or non-dragon creatures in play. Says here, Ugin's whispered summons led Sarkhan Ball to the moment that would echo down the centuries and seal Tarkir's fate, the primal battle between Ugin and Nicol Bolas. So the brother, I think this is the second brother's war. Next we have Deathbringer Regent, a 7 to cast 5/6 creature dragon. So 5 generic and double in black. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, if we cast it from our hand and there are 5 or more other creatures in the battlefield, we need to destroy all other creatures. So somewhat board wipe also with a condition. Here we have a Painful Truths. This one came from, I think, Battle for Zendikar. So a 3 to cast sorcery, double generic mana and 1 black. So it has the Converge ability from that set. So Converge says here, you draw X cards and you lose X life. So where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast Painful Truth. So that is Converge. It says here, as the Eldrazi spread, no secret that could give Zendikar's defenders an advantage was considered too dangerous to seek. Next we have another Siege, a Palace Siege. So a 5 to cast enchantment, 3 generic and double black. So again, this is a Siege enchantment again. So when it comes into play, we choose either Cans or Dragons. So if we will choose Cans, ability is, at the beginning of our upkeep, we can return a target creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Then if we will choose Dragons, so it will be at the beginning of our upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and we gain 2 life. Next we have here a red rare, a Crucible of Fire. So this one is really for the Dragon's Tribe, no? A 4 to cast enchantment, 3 generic and 1 red. So it says here, all dragon creatures we control gets +3/+3. Then there's something here says by Zarkan Ball. The dragon is a perfect marriage of power and the will to use it. So there we go. Next, red again, and again for flying, especially the Dragon Tribe, no? So Dragon Tempest, a 2 to cast enchantment, 1 generic and 1 red. So it says here, whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under our control, it gains haste until end of turn. So not just dragon, but anything that has flying on it. And again, this second ability is specific for the Dragon Tribe. So whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under our control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. So if you will notice here, it only says whenever a dragon enters the battle. It doesn't say whenever a dragon creature. So either if you will get an artifact with a subtype dragon, or enchantment with a subtype dragon, or a land type with a land with a subtype dragon, it will also deal damage, I think, with this one, no? Because it doesn't specify that dragon token, dragon creature, or whatsoever. Next we have here an Earthquake. So a X spells with 1 red mana to cast it. So it's a sorcery and says it deals X damage to each creature without flying and each player. So equal to how many mana we paid the X. Says here, they fell screaming in the depths of the chasm, like so many pebbles tossed down a well. Next we have another dragon, a red one, Hellkite Charger. So a 6 to cast, 5/5 creature dragon. No? So for generic and double red to play it. It has flying and haste. Then whenever it attacks, we can pay 7. So 5 generic and double red again. If we do, untap all attacking creatures, and after this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase, no? So seems like Murog or I think Aurelia. So additional combat phase. So here we have the Lieutenant ability. So Tyrant's Familiar is a 7 to cast 5/5 creature dragon. So 5 generic and double red again. Has flying and haste, and it has the ability Lieutenant. So only few cards that has this ability, no? So Lieutenant here says, as long as you control your commander, Tyrant's Familiar gets +2/+2 and has, whenever Tyrant's Familiar attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player control. So it could also kill one of creature of our opponent. And says here, nothing escapes its gaze or its breath. Next, a green rare, a Frontier Siege or Frontier Siege. So another siege enchantment. A 4 to cast enchantment, 3 generic and 1 single green. Says here, when it comes into play, we can choose again Cans or Dragons. So if we choose the Cans side, at the beginning of our each main phase, we can add 2 green mana to our mana pool. While if we will choose Dragons, whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under our control, you may have each 5 target creature you don't control. So I think we already completed the stage except for a blue, I think, or somewhere on those lines, no? So here we have another legend. So a dragon from the Khans or Tarkir Plains. So we have here the Growl representative. So Atarka World Render is a 7-6/4 legendary creature dragon. So it has 5 generic and a Growl colored set to play it. It has also flying and tramples. Since it's a dragon, so I think prerequisite is flying. Then says here, whenever a dragon we control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Even it's just a small dragon, it will bite 2 times. So Yasova Dragon Claw says here, her hunger knows no limit. Left unchecked, she would feast on all of Tarkir. So there's our legendary addition. So again, here we have another legendary creature, a zombie dragon, no? This one is a dragon from the old times or the old set. So it's Bladewing the Risen or the Risen. So it's a 4/4 and can be cast with 7 mana. So 3 generic and double set of Rakdos colors. So it has also flying again, and whenever it enters the battlefield, we can return any dragon permanent card. So as long as it has the subtype dragon, even if it's a land enchantment or artifact, so we can return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. And it has the fire breathing, but combined with another for the toughness, no? So we can pay Rakdos set color 2 mana. So it says here, dragon creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. Next we have another dragon with the June color. So a Broodmate dragon. So a 6-cast 4/4 creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 set of June in color. So it has also flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it will create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So I think this is the one it's pertaining, the token that is with, no? So, frozen in fear, the goblins stared upward at the circling hunter and were promptly eaten by its diving mate. So, I think it has been in White Dragons, no? So, here we have a dragon also from way back or from past set. So, its cross is Purger. So, one of those 3-colored dragons in older sets. So, he's a 6-cast, 6/6 legendary creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 set of Grixis colors. So it has also flying, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we can pay 3 mana. So 2 generic and 1 black. And if we do, we can choose a color, then that player reveals it for her or his hand and discard all cards of that chosen color, no? So we'll put him again here. This one another dragon from the Plains of Tarkir. So the Celestia representative. So Domoka the Eternal, a 5-cast 5/5 legendary creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 Celestia in set of mana. So it has also flying, and it has the bolster ability. So it says here, whenever a dragon you control attacks, bolster 2. So bolster is first introduced to us during the original Tarkir Black, no? Khans Black. Says here, when choose a creature with that least toughness among creatures you control and put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So because it's bolster 2, so if only bolster or bolster 1, will only put 1 counter. So Daghatar the Adamant says here, the bane of countless shattered weapons, each a failure to slay her. Here, so we got a lot, no? A decent amount of legendary here. Some are new, some are old, some can be added to our binder for our collection, and some I think just a duplicate of what we have already. So next we have here, we have the this is the new versions of the 3-colored, or that completed the 10, I think 10, no? I think 10 already. 3-colored dragons. No, this is the newer versions. So, Intent the Dreamer. It's a 6 to cast 6/6 legendary creature dragon. No, he looks like more of a Nibnizet because he has the Izzet also colors in him. So, it's a 3 generic and Timur and set of colors. So, says here, wait for what? I think we are already going far. Okay, like that's very good. So, Intent the Dreamer says he has flying, and when it deals combat damage to a player, we can pay 3 mana. So 2 generic and 1 blue. If we do, we can exile the top card of our library face down. Then we may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled. And we can play that card without paying its mana cost for as long as Intent remains on the battlefield. No? Next we have here another dragon from the Tarkir Black or Tarkir Plane. So the representative of the Rakdos color, Kologhan, the Storm's Fury. So a 5 to cast 4/5 legendary creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 set of Rakdos colors. It has flying, and whenever a dragon we control attacks, creatures we control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So this ability, Dash, is the ability of the Mardu tribe. So says here Dash and pay 5 mana. So 5 mana equal to his mana cost, no? Just the same, 3 generic and 1 set of Rakdos color. Says here you may cast this spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So it is good for what do you call this one? If we want to attack with him for last bit of damage or any triggers when a creature comes into play or a dragon comes into play, no? Then we have here another legendary. So here Nibnizet Draco Genius is a 6 to cast 5/5 legendary creature, human wizard. Says here 2 generic and double set of Izzet in color. So it has also flying, and when he deals damage to a player, we can draw a card. And he has this ability, so we can pay set of Izzet mana. He will deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Then Flavor text says here, he has no patience for minds that do not inspire him or explode by trying. Next we have the Azorius, representative of the Tarkir Dragon tribe, no? So Ojutai Solop Winter is a 7 to cast 5/6 legendary creature dragon. So 5 generic and 1 set of Azorius color. He has flying and vigilance, and whenever a dragon we control attacks, we can tap target non-land permanent and upon controls, and that permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. But I think they will they can change this into an ability which like I was thinking like exhaust or frozen like this one, so at least the creature will not be able to be untapped later, no? Here, Shuyun the Silent Tempest says, when I battled Ojutai, I realized my learning had only begun. Then we have the Scion of the Ore Dragon, no? So Ore Dragon and his Scion. So Scion of the Ore Dragon is a 5 to cast also for 4 legendary creature dragon avatar. So it has all the mana symbols of magic. So 1 mana each color. So it has also flying, and he has ability to pay 2 generic. Then we can search our library for a dragon permanent card, and we can put it into our graveyard. So we consider also the land, the artifact, and enchantment, no? If it has the dragon subtype. So here said here, if you do, Scion of the Ore Dragon becomes a copy of that card until end of turn. Then we shuffle our library. Then the Scion says here, I am the blood of the Ore Dragon, coursing through all dragon kind. Next we have the Dimir, representative of the Tarkir Dragons, no? So Silumgar, the Drifting Dead. It's a 6 to cast 3/7 legendary creature dragon. So 4 generic and 1 set of Dimir colors. He has flying and hexproof. And whenever a dragon control attacks, Creatures depending player controls get -1/-1 till end of turn. So this one is really good also, no? If you have especially smaller dragons, like 5 dragons will attacking, so it will net -5/-5 to creatures depending player control. So it will be a board wipe somewhat. So Tasigor the Golden Fang says here, no machinations, no puppet strings, no plots, just pure sweeping death. Next we have here a non-legendary dragon. So we have a spellbound dragon, a 5 to cast 3/5 creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 set of Isetin colors. He has also flying, and when he attacks we draw a card and discard a card. So we loot. Then spellbound dragon gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the discarded cards converted mana cost. Says here, a king in June, a serf in Esper. So this one came from an Elara plane. So a spellbound dragon, no? We'll just keep this one here, like that. Next we have one of the old dragons also, the 3-color dragon. So representative of the Abzan colors. So Teneb the Harvester. So he's a 6 to cast 6/6 legendary creature dragon. So 3 generic and 1 set of Abzan colors. He has also flying, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, we can pay 3 mana, 2 generic and 1 black in that case. So if we do, we can put target creature card from graveyard into the battlefield, any graveyard, right? Under our control. So especially if we have the dragon type, we can get massive creatures, no? Next we have here Feast of Suns, a filtered, I think like a filtered or filtering artifact. So says here it's a 3 to cast artifact. So 3 generic can be paid here, and we may pay 5 color, 1 combination, or 1 color each in Magic, rather than pay the mana cost for spells that we cast. So this one is a good addition here, and good addition also to 5 color decks, especially like Yoda, Archmage Eternal, or Golos, no? So we can use this one. Memnarch says here, it is all in my grasp. Every petted dream, every grand scheme, every soul, every fear, it all flows to me and from me. Next we have here a construct dragon, no? Or not a construct dragon, but an artifact dragon. So Steel Hellkite is a 6 to cast 5/5 artifact creature dragon. So you can pay him with 6 generic mana. He has also flying, and we can pay him 2 generic or 2 mana generic, and he will get a fire breathing. So Steel Hellkite will get +1/+0 until end of turn. And we can also pay X, so any color of mana or non-color generic. So we can destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X, whose controller was dealt damage or dealt combat damage rather by Steel Hellkite this turn. So we can only activate this one during or rather only once each turn, no? Next we have a rare land, rare non-basic land. So it's a Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, so Land of the Dragons, no? It has we can tap hit for a colorless mana. Then it says here, we can pay 1 generic and tap this one to put a storage counter on Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Then we can also tap this one and remove X storage counters from Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, and we can add X mana in any combination of colors to our mana pool. No? Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activated abilities of dragon. So it is limited to dragon only. Then next we have another Land of the Dragon, so Haven of the Spirit Dragon. So sa land, and Ugin is here. I think this one here doesn't showcase Ugin, but here it showcase Ugin, no? So a basic land, so it can be tapped for 1 colorless mana. I think this one is sword, no, if I'm not mistaken, because the sword here. Sarkhan is not using sword, so maybe this is sword. So we can also tap this one to add any color of mana to our mana pool. So we can only use that colored mana to cast a dragon creature spell. And we can also pay 2 generic and tap it to sacrifice, and also sacrifice this land to return target creature, dragon, or Ugin Planeswalker card from our graveyard to our hand, no? There we go. Then here we have our additional one basic mountain, and we have the other. We have 3 swamp here with different art. Then we have our basic forest 1, 2, 3, also with 3 different arts. We have 3 also plains with 3 different art also. Then we have also our 3 island with 3 different also art. We go now into our uncommon and common. So here we will get one again pack. So I think we will get the last Zendikar Rising, because a while ago we got, or not a while ago, from the second video we got the Commander Legends pack. So here you'll check what we pulled here. We'll just reveal everything, no? Then we have our first rare of the pack. So this is a Hagra Broodpit. Hagra Broodpit is the back side, no? So the back side says it comes into play tap. So if this is a land, so it will produce also a black mana if you tap. And its face card or the front face card is Hagra Mauling. So it's a 4 to cast instant. So 2 generic and double black in mana. So this one has the extended art treatment to it. So this spell costs 1 less to cast if an opponent controls no basic lands, especially in commander. So only few people uses basic lands, no? It has the ability destroy target creature. So this is the other card at the back, no? It specific here. Then next we have here a foil, but in normal, not showcase or not extended art, creep of Agadim, no? Agadim's Awakening, and its back is a Agadim the Undercity. So Agadim's Awakening is a X spells with triple black to cast it. Says here it's a sorcery, and return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or less. And Vivia's Witch Vessel says here, now is the death hour. Just before dawn, wake sleepers and hunt the living. While the backside is the Agadim the Undercrypt. So Agadim the Undercrypt is a land. So when it enters the battlefield, we can pay 3 life, but if we don't, it will enter the battlefield tap. So it will also give us black mana when it is tapped, no? Then Vivia's again, Witch Vessel says, here below the Hedron fields, souls and secrets lie entombed. So there we go. Agadim's Awakening and Agadim the Undercrypt. So Agadim's Awakening is a good addition, I think, to Teysa Karlov decks, no? Especially those 1, 2, 3, 4 casting cost of creatures. We can return using this one. Next we have a lucky modular or NDFC land. So this one is the Izetin color. So the first side or the front face is River Glide Pathway. So River Glide Pathway taps for blue mana. So this is really a good art, no? Then at the back is the Lava Guide Pathway. This will tap into with red mana also. So there you go. It's a really good one, no? I think we still hasn't so the last one we have a double face token, Angel Warrior, flying white, and a copy token, no? We still have missing one word for our 5 word video. So I think we will just search here. I think we will settle with this one, lol. So this will be our last word, 5th and final word, lol, no? So there you saw what the dragon or 5 color dragon deck held by the Or Dragon Commander 2017 box contains, no? And also, we showcase one Zendika Rising pack. So hope you enjoyed the video, no?